Welcome back, everyone, to Bronx Talks. Today, we have a very special video for you guys. We are going to be talking about a potential Yankees trade with the Miami Marlins. There has been a name that's been floating around there. Jeff Passan just reported it yesterday. Jesus Luzardo, a lefty starting pitcher. And this guy is young. He's very talented. So the cost is going to be up there. But with the two free agents, big time free agents, Monty and Snell, probably getting near $200 million. Again, that varies for each person. Yankees might not want to go there. If the Yankees go with the trade route, and they do have prospects to trade, right? You have Peraza, you have other guys, Pereira. So if the Yankees do go with the trade route, Luzardo could be the guy. So, Ryan, what do you think about a potential trade here?
I like the idea. I like the idea a lot. Getting Lazardo really bolstering up that rotation. And Lazardo's been a guy, the last few years that's gotten better and better. And especially last season, had a very solid season. He's also been a name on the Yankees' radar for a very long time now. And we've seen that in the past, with guys Cashman is interested in. Eventually, at some point, it seems like he's able to get them, maybe, not all the time, but a lot of the times it does end up happening. And the Yankees and Marlins have had so many talks, not just about Luzardo, but a ton of other players over the last 2 years. I mean, we've seen it every trade deadline. The Yankees and the Miami Marlins are talking to one another. And the Yankees have brought up some names. I know the Marlins are very interested in Oswald Peraza. I know they're extremely interested in Gleyber Torres. And I wonder if the Yankees even get creative, right? I wonder if maybe they end up trading Torres and they get a little creative or something happens. This trade with the Marlins, the talks with the Marlins in the past, this trade has the possibility, in my opinion, to just be bigger than a Luzardo trade because the Yankees want to fill up their roster, and I feel like they could swap a few players on both teams. The Yankees can't give up a lot of pitching depth. They already gave up a lot of pitching depth to bring in Juan Soto. They can't do that again here to get Luzardo. But it's going to be very, very interesting. And I think Brian Cashman is going to have to be creative. But I do think the Yankees would love to bring him in. And I feel like he would be, as of now, the final step in the rotation as far as your starting five goes.
Yeah, I 100%. I mean, this guy's very talented. Last year, put up a 3.58 ERA in 32 starts. Year before that, 3.32 ERA, 18 starts. So this guy's obviously a really good pitcher. And, if I were Brian Cashman, I don't think I'd necessarily be trying to trade Torres or even willing to give up Torres unless it was a ridiculously Yankees favored deal. Just because right now, for the first time in a while, I feel like we are going into a season and we are really confident in the Yankees lineup. Okay, so I don't want to mess with that at all. I really like our starting nine how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I am 100% willing to give up a guy like Peraza or even some of our highly named prospects, right? I know, hey, if they need a Spencer Jones, I would listen to them, right? Because
Yeah.
he's a far ways away. So I think the Yankees, and also I'll say this, Marlins already have a ton of young starting pitchers. So it's not like the Yankees wouldn't be able to give up starting pitching, but it's not like the Marlins need it. Really, what the Marlins need is young, talented bats. And the Yankees do have some of those guys to give up. So I think the Yankees, they've definitely checked in with the Marlins. And I'd imagine they're probably having talks right now. And I assume it's nothing too intense, but, name dropping and sort of seeing what they can do. I'm sure Jesus Luzardo has definitely been thrown around, but I really think the Yankees and Marlins have a good chance at getting a trade done. And even if they were to go out and sign a Montgomery or a Snell, I don't think that puts them out of the trade market with the Marlins just because they're always talking with them. Always, as you said, Ryan, whether
Yeah.
it's the trade deadline, there was a Hicks, I think, almost
Yeah.
went there.
Yeah.
Torres almost went to the Marlins. So much stuff has almost happened with them. So I really wouldn't be shocked if finally we get an actual trade.
Yeah. And Lazardo, he's not going to be cheap either. I mean, I think these teams line up very favorably if a trade were to happen, just because I feel like the Yankees have what the Marlins want. And obviously, the Yankees want what the Marlins have. Lazardo has 3 years left to control. He's not an unrestricted free agent until 2027. So they'd have this guy for 3 years, and he's entering the prime of his career. So you'd expect him to only get better. So this deal would definitely help the Yankees, not just this season, but for a few seasons, which I think is really important. Why the Yankees want to go after Luzardo, especially nowadays. You know, pitching is so valuable in today's league. Pitchers are getting paid more money than they ever have been. And to lock up a starting pitcher who has a lot of upside, who's pitched well the last few seasons with multiple years of control, is very important. So the Yankees are going to have to give up a little bit to get him. But hey, if you can find the right deal, I think it's definitely beneficial for not only the Yankees but the Marlins too. If the Marlins go out and get a guy like Oswald Peraza, Peraza has a ton of upside and could help the Marlins this season, and Luzardo could obviously help the Yankees this season. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this deal happens. But I think right now the Yankees are looking at all options, and if they're close or believe they have a really good shot at a guy like Snell or Montgomery, I think they would lean that way. But Luzardo definitely a name to keep an eye on if you're a Yankee fan.